So what I started looking at is how do we help somebody from the negative state of mind to the positive state of mind? It's an awfully long jump, right? I mean, if I could literally, if I could get you to conjure the emotion of fear right now, if you were to take a moment to think about something that really scares you, there's a lot of things, right? I mean, it might be spiders, it might be jumping out of planes, but it might be something a little bit more tangible, like I'm worried about, the economy. I'm worried about the future of my country. I'm worried about the morals. I'm worried about the kids that are spending all their time playing video games instead of studying and becoming great human beings and understanding compassion and, charity and all that stuff. They seem so addicted to their own needs and wants that they're not trying to create, So that's a good thing to worry about. Because if we get enough worry about it and we handle that worry the right way in a positive kind of constructed way, we can launch off of that distaste and create programs that make change. It's the contrast, isn't it? It's like, thank you for the fear. Thank you for the distaste, the repulsion of something I don't want. That's the wisdom. So the question I would continue to ask is, when we get into the negative state of mind, how do we get again from that feeling to the feeling like I am moving in the right direction. I feel fantastic. I'm doing the right thing. I'm taking my fear head on. I'm answering my fear. Getting ready to jump out of an airplane. You check your gear, don't you? Right? Maybe more than once. And then you check your friend's gear. Right? So it's a community of practice, right? We have to be kind of dealing with the details of the situation. But at the same time, there is an inner part. One of the things that I did is a lot of competition over the years. You might have even seen me on ESPN. I won the world championships in the X Games. And one of the things that I realized when I was in the bronze, silver mode, trying to get to that almighty gold, I realized that it was an inner game, much more than it was an outer game. Because everybody that showed up for these events, that was invited to these events, they all had what it took. But some of them had the ability to feel that increased heart rate, to feel that muscular contraction, to see those images in their head that were negative, and go, and you had to breathe. Do we know how to breathe, really? I mean, everybody knows how to go in and out, but when the pressure is really, really on, do we know how to, like an athlete getting ready, the gymnasts, they get ready to do the vault in the Olympics, and you see the little girls, they're trying to get themselves ready, and they go, and then they attack with full commitment. Every single cell in their body is here and now, and they are the task. There's no separation between them and it. So that's what I'm trying to foster in people, that you have that. Remind you have that ability to have complete focus. And when you apply that focus with the belief that you can do it, of course you can accomplish anything you want to accomplish. You know that. So then the question comes, how do I focus my mind when it keeps drifting back into these habits of thought, habits of negativity? That's a problem that everybody runs into, every single one of us, myself included. The negative visualizations keep coming back. So one of the things that I find works really, really well as a training tool is to, whenever I remember, I let go of a thought that is not really a useful thought. It's just a repeating, like a cow chewing its cud. I've thought this thought before and I didn't get anywhere with it last time, so I'm going to let it go. And return to noticing my breathing and noticing what I'm doing. And if I'm doing the dishes, I do the dishes well. That's one of the things my wife always is like, why don't you just pay more attention? And I go, thank you. That's what I've been trying to tell my students. Thank you for reminding me to apply that idea to this. You're doing the laundry. Notice that there's the one pair of, red socks that's going to turn everything pink. Pay attention to it. Pay attention to the details. So the problem is that we're doing what we're doing and we're thinking about something else. That's human nature. But what if we were to get good, at paying attention to what we're doing? How does that relate to fear? Fear is paying attention to thoughts that keep repeating that aren't getting us where we want to go. They're just pointing to what we don't want. And if we keep fixating on the one tree, I don't want that. We're not bringing about the alternative. That comes from letting go of that feeling, letting go of that whole vision, and going, what do I really want? And so here's the tool that I give my students, and this is like magic stuff for parachutists. And maybe you'll be able to apply this as a metaphor in your life. When somebody jumps out of an airplane, they have a lot of adrenaline. They have a lot of intensity about this moment, and you can measure it. And I just was working with an Italian woman who finished up a study looking at heart rate and everything. It's very interesting how excited people can get without having a heart attack. And then the parachute opens, and sometimes they have line twists, and they have to kick themselves out of the line twists, and then they have to find the landing zone. Oh, where is it? And half the time it's behind you. Oh, there it is, and you turn and you start heading back. At some point, the jumper has to clear their head, but they don't, which is why we have a lot of landing injuries, because they keep that feeling of fear, of negative visualization, of I think it's going to go bad. How do I avoid it going bad? They're just fixating on what could go wrong. And so here's what I suggest they do, and it seems to work. I have them release their steering apparatus and put the parachute into brakes, which slows down the descent rate. It slows down the airspeed. The noise in the air gets quieter. They can look out at the horizon, and I have them take a deep breath in and let it out slowly, and remember why they're here. Remember the big picture, appreciation. It's a magic thing. Because we can't be in a state of fear and a state of appreciation at the same time. It's impossible, isn't it? So if we realize the things when we're worried at the office, we're worried at home about money, we're worried about kids or whatever, if we stop worrying about the thing that we're actually creating by worrying about it, we're making it bigger, and we start appreciating the things that we do love about our lives, about the people around us, about our co-workers. Thank you so much for doing what you did. That was really, really helpful. That state of consciousness, that feeling of appreciation, isn't it the opposite of fear as well? That state of sort of contentment, peace, or whatever. It's all connected to me. The experience of love, you could call it as well. Love of the moment, love of what you're doing. People go to work with this feeling of, time to go to work, hard, because our parents told us that that's what a good person does, right? You work hard, you put your nose to the grindstone, you suffer. And the more you suffer, the more medals you're going to get at the end. And after you die, they tell you they're going to give you even more medals somehow, right? And I don't think that's the way it goes, is it? Right? I mean, I think that we're supposed to enjoy our lives. We're supposed to appreciate the flowers and the grass growing in the springtime. We're supposed to appreciate the smiles of strangers. And yet what cuts us off from that is our fear. So this is why I write books about fear. Because I think it would be great if we walked down the streets of Wheaton, and no matter who the people were that crossed our paths, no matter what their face looked like and their hair color or their clothing or anything else, we smile at them and we say, with our eyes, welcome to Wheaton. I am, welcome to Silver Spring. Welcome to Maryland. Welcome to my country. But it's fear that holds us back from doing that. So how do we deal with the fear? We focus on what we do want. And then we relax into it and let the joy of it, let the appreciation, let the love of the moment flow, and there we are. Fear is no longer a factor.